Welcome. Today, we're plunging into a story you almost certainly know, or, well, maybe you think you know. Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid.
Right, the name is so familiar, isn't it? But the original tale, and then how it gets adapted, reveals so much more.
Exactly. And that's our mission on this deep dive, to explore how Andersen's original story, and then these really different adaptations by Disney and Studio Ghibli, Ponyo, how they reflect the cultures and, I guess, the mindsets of their creators.
It's not just comparing the films, is it? It's digging into the why behind the choices they made.
Precisely. And to frame this, I wanted to bring up a quote from Oscar Wilde from The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh, yeah?
He said, "Every portrait that is painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter. It is rather the painter who on the colored canvas reveals..."
That fits perfectly.
Isn't it? It applies so well to storytelling. The choices Andersen, Disney, Ghibli made, they really tell us something fundamental about them, about their work.
It's a powerful idea that art is, well, inherently self-revelatory. And looking at these three versions of essentially the same core idea, you really see it.
You do. Each one takes this premise, a magical being longing for the human world, and just steers it in such personal, culturally specific directions.
Okay, so where do we start? The original.
Let's do it. Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid, 1837. So deep down, you've got these 6 mermaid princesses. The youngest, she has this striking red hair, and she's just utterly fascinated by the human world.
Always asking your grandmother for stories, right? Yeah. Just counting down the days until she turns 15 and can go see it herself.
Exactly. And on that birthday, she swims up, sees this handsome prince celebrating on a ship, then a huge storm hits.
And she saves him, drags him to shore.
She does. But, and this is heartbreaking, another girl finds him unconscious, gets the credit, basically.
Yeah.
And the mermaid's fascination.
And here's a crucial point, something people often miss from, say, the Disney version. Her main goal isn't just romantic love.
No, not at all. She asks her grandmother, "Can humans live forever?"
Right, and the grandmother explains this whole thing. Mermaids live 300 years, then poof, sea foam. Humans, shorter lives, they have an immortal soul.
And that's what the mermaid latches onto, this intense desire for an immortal soul. That becomes her driving.
Which leads her straight to the sea witch.
Yep, in her creepy underwater forest home. The witch offers her legs, but the deal harsh.
Understatement. Every step feels like treading on sharp nut.
Ouch. And the really dire part. Prince marries someone else, she dies the next morning. Turns into sea foam.
And the price for this charming potion? Her voice. The witch literally cuts out her tongue.
Brute. But she agreed. Drinks the potion near the palace, passes out, and wakes up with the prince looking down at her.
And she can't speak, obviously. So she's taken in, lives at the palace. She gets close to the prince, dances for him even though it's agony.
Sleeps outside his door on a cushion. It's devotion, but painful.
But he still sees her more like a fond child, maybe. He keeps talking about the girl he thinks saved him, some temple maiden.
Right. Then his parents arrange for him to visit a neighboring kingdom to potentially marry their princess. The mermaid is devastated, but goes along.
He tells her he won't be forced into it, but then
he sees the princess and immediately believes she was the one who saved him from the storm. "It was you." And just like that, they're
leaving the mermaid completely heartbroken. She knows she's going to die at sunset.
So wedding happens. They're on the ship. And her sisters rise from the waves. They look different, though.
They've cut off all their beautiful hair, traded it to the sea witch.
For what?
A knife. They tell her, "Kill the prince before sunrise. Let his blood touch your feet, and you'll become a mermaid again. You'll get your 300 years back."
Wow. So she takes the knife, sneaks into the tent where the prince and his new bride are sleeping.
But she looks at him, and she just can't do it. She kisses his forehead, throws the knife into the sea, and then jumps overboard herself, ready to dissolve into foam.
But that's not quite the end, is it?
No. As the sun rises, she doesn't disappear. She feels herself floating upwards, finding herself among these beautiful, transparent beings.
Yeah.
The daughters of the air. They explain that, unlike mermaids, they can earn an immortal soul. How? Through 300 years of good deeds.
So it's
a different path, yeah. And they tell her that her self-sacrifice, her choice not to kill the prince, allows her to join. And there's a catch for how long it takes.
Oh.
The time can be shortened when they find good children, but it gets longer for every naughty child they encounter.
So she finally has her chance at an immortal soul, just not through the prince. Kisses the bride, fans the prince, and fluts off with the daughters of the air. What an ending.
It's incredibly complex and really quite sad in many ways, but understanding that story is crucial for seeing what the adaptation.
Absolutely. And it ties back to Andersen himself, right? His world, his beliefs.
Definitely. Our sources emphasize Andersen was writing in 19th century Europe. Religion, specifically Christianity, was hugely important, and he was deeply faithful.
So the story is fundamentally a religious allegory.
Pretty much. It's described as a Christian conversion story based on a miracle. The mermaid's love for the prince. That's secondary to her desire for an immortal soul. a core Christian concept.
And her sacrifice, not killing the prince, that's positioned as Christ.
Exactly. It's selfless love, turning away from vengeance, and that whole Daughters of the Air ending. It's a very explicit moral lesson for kids.
So, the good children shorten the time.
Precise. Be good, and you help these spirits reach heaven faster. Be naughty, and you delay them. It's designed to promote devotion to God above anything else. It directly ties children's behavior to this spiritual outcome.
Wow. That's a world away from the Disney version most of us grew up with.
Totally. Let's pivot to that. Disney's The Little Mermaid, late 1980s America. The message just flips completely.
Yeah, it goes from divine devotion to,
as our sources put it, self-serving desires and successfully getting them met. It's very much a product of a country focused on free will and individual autonomy. Ariel wants the prince. Get full stop. She leaves her home, her fam for him.
the self is paramount. Your own desires are the main.
And you have to think about the context. Late 80s America, end of the Reagan era.
Right. What was going on then?
Well, you had Reaganomics, which critics point to as concentrating wealth. You had the war on drugs, heavily impacting poor black communities. There was social unrest, riots, a lot of anxiety and fear in the air, fueled by the news cycle.
So amidst all that turmoil, Disney puts out this bright romantic musical. Why? What was the thinking?
The analysis suggests it was quite deliberate. Disney created a formulaic film by design. They offered audiences something familiar and safe, precisely because the real world felt unstable.
A kind of escape.
Exactly. A film tackling Andersen's heavy themes, religion, suicide, death, just wouldn't work commercially then. The sources say America was back in the romance mode. Disney knew audiences wanted escapism, not grim reality.
Makes sense from a business perspective, but that shift towards romance and individualism brought other things into focus, didn't? Critics have pointed out some, problematic aspects.
They have. For instance, the ages. Disney bumps Ariel up to 16, Eric to 18, legal consent age.
And some scholars argue Ariel's love isn't really deep connection, but more like
sexual lust for Eric's body, the way she's shown gushing over him, admiring his statue, his physique after she saves him. It's presented very physically.
And the film itself seems obsessed with bodies, right? Ariel's design.
Yeah, the precariously placed seashell bra, the tail emphasizing this ideal figure, tiny waist, big chest. Critics like Sarah Shoker call her an object of desire, even a perfect fetish.
And the camera work when she gets legs, some call it voyeur.
Describing how it seems to dance around exposing her private part. There's an argument it's meant to be, titillating for the audience.
It definitely shifts the focus dramatically from Andersen's spiritual quest. And this focus on the physical, it raises questions about consent, doesn't it?
Big time. Think about the content. It all hinges on eliciting a kiss from Eric. He has no idea what the stakes are, or even that there are stakes involving her soul or life. It's a demand for physical intimacy without his informed consent.
And then there's the kiss the girl sequence, Sebastian's lyrics.
Yeah, they feel less like friendly encouragement and more like a command he's giving Eric, trying to plant ideas in Eric's head. It borders on manipulation, even from the good guys.
Not to mention Ursula explicitly manipulating Eric.
Oh, absolutely. He's literally hypnotized and manipulated by Ursula, treated purely as a pawn, an object to be controlled.
I even read a fan theory suggesting Ariel's voice itself, her mermaid song, might function like a siren's call.
Oh, interesting. Like it had a magical compulsion.
Yeah, explaining why Eric is so obsessed with finding the girl with that voice, even before he knows anything else about her, adds another layer of potential unwitting manipulation.
It certainly complicates the idea of pure romance. Now, think about sacrifice. Ariel gives up her voice, her most exceptional attribute. It's framed as a huge loss, her ability to express her own thoughts and desires.
But it's Disney, so that sacrifice doesn't really stick, does it?
Not at all. In true Disney fashion, she gets her voice back, she gets the guy, and her father, King Triton, is able to magically give her feet.
Which raises the question, he could do that all along.
Apparently.
Yeah.
It completely undermines the idea of sacrifice having lasting consequences. Mm-hmm. You can have your cake and eat it too.
Speaking of Triton, he's kind of a tricky figure, isn't he?
Very. Described as complicated and problematic. Supposedly benevolent, but also rash, mistrusting, and even violent.
That scene where he destroys her grotto, all of her treasures.
It's called one of the bleakest scenes. In a real-world context, it's pure abusive behavior, just explosive rage.
And even when he regrets it, he acts tyrannically, ordering the whole kingdom cert, no rest allowed. And Ursula.
She's just the villain. Pure evil. There's no exploration of why she was banished or the history with Triton. It simplifies everything into clear good versus evil.
And the ending wraps it all up neatly. Social order is restored, the rebellious princess is settled down, royal success cured.
Okay, so that's Disney. Now let's jump to Studio Ghibli and Ponyo from 21st century Japan. A completely different feel.
Totally different. Miyazaki's film balances Ponyo's desires with this much wider social message, right? especially about.
Yes, huge emphasis on the power, sanctity, and importance of the natural world, which connects deeply to Japanese societal experience.
How so? The relationship with nature.
Well, Japan has this long, intense history with natural disasters, tsunamis, earthquakes. They're seen as an inevitable part of life.
Not if, but when.
Exactly. More of a question of when, where, and how bad, rather than if. This fosters a kind of stoicism, a holistic approach. And Ponyo is described as being strongly engaged in the idea of life after a natural disaster.
But it's not scary, is it? Even when the town floods?
That's what's amazing. The town is completely submerged, yet the film is incredibly optimistic, not fear-mongering at all.
How does Miyazaki pull that off?
The buildings seem fine, like they're just in stasis, waiting for the water to go down.
Yeah.
And crucially, the people don't panic or fight. They check on each other, form little communities on boats, organize rescue parties.
So it's a communal response.
Yes, an idealized version of Japanese society post-disaster. It shows this acceptance of powerful forces and focuses on community resilience, not individual survival.
And the central relationship, Ponyo and Sosuke, it's so different from Ariel and Eric.
Worlds apart. Ghibli uses young children. This makes their love story feel more effective, somehow purer. It's not predicated on anything like physical attraction.
Sosuke loves Ponyo, whether she's a fish, a weird half-fish, half-girl thing, or fully...
Right. It shows its incredible devotion and constancy. The film suggests the real doubt is about the state of the very world, the environmental imbalance, not about their feelings for each other.
So their love is almost a metaphor.
Yeah, their complete dedication is presented as a hopeful metaphor for how future generations can fix a climate disaster with their love. It's about unity overcoming huge challenges.
And Ponyo's sacrifice. Also total.
Ariel loses her voice, feels pain. Ponyo's journey is about gaining things as she becomes human.
How?
As a fish, she can't speak properly. She's confined. As a human, she becomes her most fully realized self. She gains speech, freedom of movement, a richer life experience.
So when she gives up her magic at the end?
It's framed as restoring natural balance and putting her on equal terms with Sosuke. It's not a loss of self, but an integration.
And the father figure, Fujimoto, he's no trite.
Not even close. He's much more complexly portrayed. Not evil, more a misguided voice of reason, almost.
He hates humans, right, because of pollution.
Yeah, he openly acknowledges the harmful impact humans are having on the environment. He admits he left humanity because he despises its destructiveness. He comes across almost like a climate extremist.
But he's not defeated like Ursula.
No, and that's classic Ghibli conflict resolution. No killing the villain. Instead, Susuke's mother, Lisa, and Ponyo's mother, Grandma Mar, facilitate this understanding. Fujimoto is won over by Sosuke's devotion and love.
He shakes his hand, asks for forgiveness.
It perfectly illustrates Miyazaki's idea that good and evil exist in all of us. Disharmony isn't solved by violence, but by love and seeking out understanding. You bring people to your side, show them a better way.
And Ponyo has so much support around her.
Absolutely. Loving, supportive parents, Lisa, Koichi, and other supportive adults like Grandma Mar, the old ladies at the nursing home. Even Toki, who seems grumpy, fiercely protects Sosuke.
Which is such a contrast to Disney's often absent or dead or disapproving parents. Ghibli seems to value community and intergenerational support much more.
Definitely a different worldview presented.
Okay, so let's bring it back to Oscar Wilde. The artist revealing themselves. It feels like these adaptations really do lay bare the formula or the ethos.
They really do. You can almost map it out. Disney's formula, commercially brilliant, often goes girl meets boy, they fall in love, stupid adults get in the way, an evil villain tries to pull them apart.
Some magic saves the day, and happy ending, walk into the sun's familiar, safe, comforting.
Exactly. Whereas Ghibli's formula feels more like bold, brave young characters, yeah, but also supportive, understanding adults. Antagonists, sure, but not pure evil. Just people with different views who can be understood, maybe even befriended if you approach them with open.
It's definitely a preference for more nuance.
Absolutely. So the choices each studio made, plot, characters, themes, they aren't random. They really are portraits of the culture and mentality that shaped them. It gives us such a fascinating way to look at these stories and the worlds they came.
It really does. And that pretty much wraps up our deep dive for today. We've seen how one core story can be utterly transformed, reflecting such different values, anxieties, philosophy.
From Christian morality to American individualism to Japanese environmentalism and community.
So a final thought for you, listeners. As you watch movies, read books, consume stories, think about what they might be revealing. What are they saying about their creators, maybe about our own society's hopes and fears, right?
Because every story, every adaptation really is a portrait of its artist and its time. Makes you think, doesn't it?